So right back down here after a huge gap higher, and our stock set to resume a crash tomorrow. Let's find out. We do have an important tariff going into place here tonight in China. It's going to be 104%. That is announced. It is Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. Again, don't forget give the video a thumbs up and comment. Subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. And 4 days left on the sale. That's till this Friday. Again, 60% off first month active trader and 20% off swing trades. Dangerous environment here. And again, I cannot stress enough, just like honestly, a couple of observations. One, I can't tell you like how many messages I've gotten about like, why aren't we buying? Why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing that? After yesterday. And this is why, I haven't done anything really on the buy side in terms of swing trading outside of a SPY position, heading to a SPY position, unlevered. It's because this is a ridiculously volatile environment. It is a blink and you miss it environment. What do I mean by that? This right here, this 10-minute candle is actually, you don't even have to look at a 10-minute candle. You can look at a 1-minute candle. That's how quickly we're moving. Let's go to SPX. That's how quickly we're moving 60 points almost in 1 minute, and then minutes later it's down, gone. This market is not, again, you have to size down. It is not a cowboy market. Okay, we can't just do what you want like we did, for in years past when the VIX was, suppressed and dispersion was super high. Cannot stress that enough. VIX right back up to 57. Take a look at the move. Nobody, pays attention to this, but this is out of control. Here's bond market volatility. We're coming up at, multi-year highs here. And we're, not that far. Well, I mean, this thing can move fast, no pun intended, but we're not far off of, breaking this area and going towards like the BTFP levels back in the regional bank crisis. So bond market volatility out of control here. ES book value, either book depth was only like 20K the last 2 days. So we're moving fast. You have to size down and you got to treat a 50-point move like a 10-point move on ES, and 10 to 100 and so on and so forth, But nonetheless, one of the things I do see here in terms of maybe a little bit of normalization coming back in, at least personally, this is like proprietary for me, is that I notice dealers are starting to at least matter a little bit more. You can see the 490 right there, and we went right there, and now we're bouncing right before the end of the day here. It's about 350, and we saw it this morning as well. Take a look at on the intraday. Now, these levels did get run over eventually, but if we look at the intradays, we gapped up. We had a big level at 525. We had another level at 515. It got a decent buy the dip. It trapped up. It had a little pop and a right back to the opening range for kind of like a little trapping effect there. But the point is, we had bounces at these strikes where the last 2 weeks we were just going like this right through all of them without any bounces, without any attempt at a bounce. And it was kind of the baby being thrown out with the bathwater type selling. But as disorderly as it was a little bit more orderly. I think a lot of the selling we're seeing today too is programmed because of the tariff that's going on tonight, and there's kind of that hedging effect going on too. So I'm also expecting some BS games here tonight too. Watch them pull some 11:58 p.m. Oh, well, we were kidding about that. Oh, Xi Jinping's on the phone with Trump, or something like that. Some sort of algo move. I'm not going to stay up and watch it. I don't care. I'll just be in cash. As far as a day trading standpoint, overnight holds, it's just way too much to even deal with at this point. But, we'll just trade the tape tomorrow. There's plenty of opportunities here. I mean, we're moving hundreds of points almost every hour. So, I mean, it's not like we really need to front run anything here. Lastly, could we go down and sweep the low? Yeah, it's possible. I mean, we're not that far off. I would say this right now, whatever direction we move in tomorrow morning, I would not try to fade that. So that's I kind of have tomorrow ready to be a trend day in a certain direction. But right now, yeah, market's trying to get a little bounce off the lows, but yeah, the dealer level's working. There's 410 QQQ, it's working. But you saw that the VIX creep up, and we noticed this first thing this morning too. VIXy was acting a little firm. It's never really made lower lows all that much, even as the spiders were inching up. Little divergence there. Some strength in the VVIX too, and that's back at, that's that gap down, and that's back up to 180 now. So lots of volatility. Again, size down or just stay out of the market altogether, and just focus on long-term buys of quality names. But this can be day traded. You just gotta do it. You just gotta size way down, and when you do that, when you catch those trends, I mean, we can see what happened yesterday. I mean, this is a crazy move. So anyway, yeah, nice bounce here for the end of the day. And normally this would, this looks like a 10-point bounce, and it's probably like 50. So there, yeah. So there, no, sorry, it's 60. That's 70 points now. Just that last 10 minutes right there, that's a 70-point bounce. This is the market we're in here. So right now, really steep retrace. I think we passed the 618. Might be coming up under the 786 right now. But yeah, like I said yesterday, a lot of people asking about, there's a 786 essentially. But a lot of people, I think, maybe got a little too excited. I mean, we definitely have bottom-esque volume here. That is insane on SPY. But these moves, even if this is a low, what did I tell you yesterday? There will be a retrace. You'll get a chance to buy a higher low at some point, right? You don't have to get the exact tick, but even these big moves here, we're holding that trend line right now, by the way. But just go back to the pandemic low. I mean, like, yeah, did you feel FOMO here? If you maybe, but you got a chance to get a retrace, and if you bought there, you did just fine, didn't you? Right? You don't have to be perfect here. Even going back to August, like we got that big, everybody got bearish right here, right? Steep retrace right here. Everybody said we were going to crash into the election. This one right here, where we poked through the low. Again, these are lower, volatility environments, but still, it's the same market. It's just turned up to 11 volume wise. But yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. I just, I don't. Asking me to predict what's going to happen tomorrow is about might as well just roll a dice. But I would say I wouldn't fade the direction. That said, I do think that, yeah, you obviously have the volume for a bottom here. We'll see if it sticks. Or if they sweep the low and then bring it back up. That would be a nasty development. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Triple Q's here down 2. Look at the intraday. I mean, this is 7%. 4.5% gap, and then down all the way. I think we were down almost 3% at one point. Wild volatility intraday. Just crazy stuff here. IWM, again, same thing, down 3, and then the Dow here down 1%. SMH, this is holding up, and here's a point for bulls, I guess. I know it looks like a brutal reversal, but this is well off the lows here. And I mean, like, it doesn't look like much, but details matter. They definitely matter always, and especially in this environment. So just making little observations here. IGV also down, only down 1.5. A normal day that would be a lot, but right now that might as well just be chop. Transport's holding the lows of yesterday, but still on the weaker side, obviously. Here's the other question I have too. As we take a look at, I wasn't going to talk about this, but it's already here. Spreads here. So I don't know how much longer, Trump can say he's not going to budge, and maybe he doesn't, but I think Powell will. If this, I don't know how much more this can take here. I mean, we're approaching like essentially the lows of 2022. So, something's got to give here at some point. But anyway, yields 2-year down, and you can see the yield curve, new highs going back to, you got to go way back to 2021. So yield curve is pushing up. Look at the 3-month 10-year, almost back to flat. This is only inverted, or excuse me, not the only time, but it did a similar thing, I believe in 2006 or 7, where it dipped below and then popped back up. We'll see if this continues or if it holds back up above there, but it's interesting that it uninverted and then pushed back up. But anyway, 2-year yield down makes sense, right? 30's up. Move index is out of control right now. So we could be coming close to, I mean, you know, we're basically at multi-year highs. We're not that far off of like, this was like the BTFP, you know, HFLA and the regional bank, Silicon Valley Bank crisis. I mean, we're basically there. If we get to 140, you know, there's just a hop, skip, and a jump at that point when these things get momentum. But that's obviously creating a problem for markets right now, seeing those yields push as high as they are. XHB here, down 3.6. This is a good level. I do like this for XHB. Maybe it can overshoot here if we get like a little bit more panic. In fact, that's normal, but this has never been back tested, and yeah, it's a good area. If you're looking to, I mean, it's hard to buy things right now, but you know, this is when you're supposed to do it, right? But XHB here, down 3.5. Yeah, it's getting interesting. Maybe it gets down to 83. There's a closing bell, by the way. So it looks like we close off the lows, and I mean, there you go. There's the 490. That, you know, dealer level's working. Did we get to 5K? Almost. We almost got back to 5K there. So, there's a lot of interest sitting at 4,900 too. We almost got there today also. Anyway, where are we going on? VNQ, yep, down 2.6. Close below yesterday's low. We'll see. Maybe it does go back and retest this old trend line here. So again, big down day, big gap and crap here. XLF only down 16 cents. So there's your big positive for bulls too. Yeah, is XLF holding steady, yeah, and semiconductors for the most part. Let me just see where the SMH finished since, excuse me, only 2.68, so GV down 1.35. But KRE here down 46. Again, not down terribly, right? So Finn's hanging in there somehow. ABE down 53, broker dealers down 1%, but yeah, held yesterday's range, so big level here. This is where it started to really get parabolic. Oil is like as if nothing's going on. Well, at least I shouldn't say that. If you look on the daily, you can't look at that, but the intraday, it looks like nothing's going on here compared to the spiders. I do think oil is very interesting here. I think it should be down a lot more than it is considering what's going on. But, and that tells me that maybe there's a lot of shorts in this. I don't have a setup on it, but I will, if I can get one, I will play it. I think oil is very intriguing. There's like a lot of setups I have on a lot of things right now, or a lot of thoughts I have on a lot of things right now, but I don't have confirmation from the market. The same thing kind of what we talked about with TLT. You know, just because I said TLT is interesting here doesn't mean that I went out and bought it yesterday, just so everybody's clear on that. I think a lot of people like can misconstrue calls with like things. And first of all, calls don't mean shit, just so you know. What matters is making money and executing a system. So calls don't mean anything. But just so you know, everything I say in here doesn't mean that I actually say I like a pattern or something, doesn't mean I'm in it. Just to be clear. But anyway, getting sidetracked again. Oil. Yep, XLE down 2.3, held the low of yesterday. OIH and XOP down as well. Nat gas down 4.19. I want to see it hold this green bar by the end of the week. So if it bids back up, it's okay. If not, maybe in a little trouble there. Dollar index held up pretty well today. Finished down 0.25%. It did come off the highs right around the same time the market did. So again, that positive correlation there. And that's what's got a lot of people worried right now. But it does have a nice kind of like divergence here. We'll see if that punches through there. We got CPI coming up, so maybe that will do it. And we got China tonight, so we'll see if anything happens there. Gold backing off of 3,000. I think this is in consolidation mode right now. So I wouldn't do anything with that right now. Silver getting a nice bid. or I should say, it's holding the bid. And it really didn't back off with the rest of the market and rest of risk. So silver hung in there actually quite well today, considering. Platinum, again, flat to positive, so was palladium. So metals held up all right today. Gold was flattish. Copper took a little bit of a hit and retraced that tail. And essentially now holding 52-week lows. Bitcoin was down today, and this was kind of weak this morning, so maybe that was a little bit of a precursor. If we look at the New York Open, I just took a look at IBIT. Yeah, it gapped up, but it wasn't really. I mean, look at the difference in the gap between that and then like SPX, right? We just use a daily chart here if I can type it in right. I mean, look at the difference there versus IBIT. It's kind of weak. But either way, maybe that was a signal that we were going to go risk off again today. But Bitcoin, I'm going to give that big pump with everything else yesterday and then coming back in. Trying to fill this week out. Again, a lot of volume here too. So it's still, sellers in control, but it's been having a hard time following through 78 to 80. And like I said yesterday, I think it's got some more time on the clock on the weekly. If it's going to break down, it might need another week, but we'll see. When you have VIX 55, sometimes things can happen that don't normally happen, which is why I've been stressing the size down here. And don't be a cowboy. So anyways, guys, we'll see what happens this week. Tomorrow, I'm sure there's going to be some nonsense games tonight. But I would not try to fade the energy tomorrow on the open anyway. So anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up here. Again, you guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I will see you guys all tomorrow.